Uninformed immigrants are at a huge disadvantage in court, in financial and legal matters, and also sometimes in life. Well, what can we do about it? I'll tell you what. We can train, teach, inspire, and empower immigrants to maximize their lives regardless of their immigration status. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. I am your immigration lawyer and host, Otis Landerholm, and this is the Empowered Immigrant Podcast. So can social media get me deported? Let's jump right in, all right? And if you're just tuning in, I'm Otis Landerholm, Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. Welcome to another episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. Thanks for being here. Fred in America, cheers to you. All right, great to see you. All right, so can social media get me deported? What a question. All right, let me break it down the way I think about it, all right? First of all, there is this thing, right? There is this thing called the freedom of speech. You may have heard of that, all right? The United States government ought to respect it, okay? People have the right, with very few exceptions, like if they're threatening, right? Or, shouting fire in a crowded movie theater, which is, it causes terror and, causes serious violence to ensue. So people have the right, with very few exceptions, to say what they want. It's called the freedom of speech. People have the right to post what they want. People have the right to share what they want. All right? So my philosophy is, hey, if you've got something to say, say it. So many people are afraid to say stuff. Stop being afraid to say stuff. If you got something to say it. All right? That's the big first thing that you got to be aware of. Okay? But second thing is social media and what you're saying, any speech in general, it is evidence. It's there. It lives, right? It's like living, breathing evidence. Think about this video right now. I'm putting it on social media. I got something to say. Could it be used against me in the future? Yes, it could, right? Think about it. Of course it could, right? But it could also be used in my favor in the future. It's just evidence of what I think and who I am and what I believe and all that good stuff, right? It is evidence. It does live, right? It's on the internet. And so because of that evidence, social media evidence, what we're saying to the world, it can cut both ways. All right? I've had clients who have won asylum because they can point as evidence and use as evidence how they were active on their social media. All right? They can point to their social media efforts as evidence to show that they have a political opinion or that they are demonstrating, things, or maybe they can even use social media if they've received threats there, all right, as evidence in favor of a case, all right? And so it's evidence. It can be used for or against an immigration proceeding. And so then, of course, the answer is also yes. It can also be used as evidence against you. It can be used as evidence in favor of, but it can also be used as evidence against your immigration case. Got it? So when is social media used as evidence against you? Let me just give a few examples, all right? And then we'll get into your questions. Imagine, example number one, hey, if you've got pictures of you using marijuana, or you using any controlled substance, or you using or doing or engaging in any quote-unquote criminal activity, That's a problem. Don't put that stuff on social media. Got it? Like, don't put anything about that on social media. Why would you? So many people do. It's just, you do not want to do that. It can completely be used against you. Okay? And see my many videos on the topic of marijuana. Marijuana has been legalized in many states, but it is still listed as a federal crime. So if you're an immigrant facing federal, government agencies, they're going to apply federal law, including federal criminal laws. Like if you're an immigrant, do not use marijuana, period, and certainly don't put anything about your use of it on social media. Got it? Okay, point number 2. If you are coming in on a temporary visa, right, you got to understand that a temporary visa requires a showing that you're intending to leave the U.S. upon entry. And so if you're entering on a temporary visa, but you have pictures of you and your United States citizen husband or your United States citizen fiance, planning on getting married next, 5 months in the future, like that'll be used against you, not as criminal activity, but it's evidence that you're potentially going to violate your visa conditions. All right? So you don't want to have evidence in your social media that you're going to violate the terms of your visa. All right? You want to be cautious of these things. The third example I can give, I see it a lot, right? Imagine that you are married and going through a marriage-based immigration process. You have a spouse who's applying for your green card. Imagine that you're in that situation. And so, just out of curiosity, the immigration official goes onto your social media account, right? Because they do. And imagine it says on your social media account that, no, I'm single. And imagine it shows on your social media feed that you're going out on dates with other people. I mean, they'll accuse you of marriage fraud. Got it? It's like what you're putting on social media contradicts what you're saying to immigration. You don't want to do that. You want what you're putting on social media to be consistent and to be evidence in favor of your case, not used against you and evidence against your case. Does that make sense? I mean, I hope that makes sense. Similar, right? If you don't want to put any evidence related to false documentation, anything, my ID is this, but I got a passport saying this from my home country. You don't put stupid things in your social media. I guess that's my main point. Okay? There you go. So in conclusion, in your immigration case, you can use social media in your favor, but immigration can use social media against you. It's evidence. That's all it is. And yes, evidence can always slice both ways. And so you want to be smart about it. That's my main message. If you're using social media, use it. Everybody's using it, right? But use it wisely. Use it wisely. Don't be a fool about how you use it. And understand that the U.S. government is going to look at it just like any other person can have access to it. It's there. All right? And just like this video right here, right now, is going to be posted on social media for the world to see, it's my philosophy, my beliefs, right? I believe immigrants are awesome. I'm going to say it until I die. All right? Why? Because immigrants are awesome. I work with thousands of them. It is like fundamental to who I am and what I believe. If you've got beliefs that matter to you, put them on social media. Why not? It's who you are. All right? Don't like be afraid to say who you are. Okay? But be like, have some understanding too about how that's going to look to a government officer as you go forward with your case. Like, be who you are, consistent in your immigration case. And so thank you all so much for being here. I hope this was useful. I hope this was helpful. My name is Otis Landerholm, Landerholm Immigration A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream, and I will see you on our next episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. All right? Thanks to everybody who asked questions. Thanks to all my friends here on Instagram. Thanks to everybody joining us here on TikTok. Thanks on YouTube. Thanks on Facebook. Love you all. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.